Yeah. Anyway, I noticed though your EVs suck on your name.
I just thought the heck of it. I thought it would be funny.
Well, it's funny for a lot of reasons, but also because that was one of the topics that I brought up for us to talk about today. We planned.
You did a lot of the planning.
Well, you planned last time, so I thought I'd plan this time.
I'm very much appreciative of that.
Yeah. So Jon and I have spent the last probably 15, 20 minutes just talking, really missing out on nothing.
We have nothing left to say.
No, we're done. Yeah. I mean, we burned through all the really good content. I wish you would have been there to listen.
Yes. Where were you?
They were stuck behind the record button.
I'm sure they were. They're all going, oh, great. Yeah. I tuned into PoddiMouths, and they were just silent for 5 minutes. Yeah. Right. Like that
was probably the best show ever.
I love that show. I used to go to YouTube, and I'd get the darkness with the rain in the background. Mm-hmm. Oh, that really calm. Now I tune into PoddiMouths, and they just stare at each other.
Speaking, if you want rain, I can actually put rain in the background.
Of course you can. Do it. Do it just because you can.
Yeah, I can. Hold on. Give me just a second. I got to pull it up.
Don't say stand by. Don't say hold on.
Stand by.
That's better. That's better.
I thought that was weird, personally. Go into there. All right, you ready?
Oh, yep. Lay it on me.
Let's go. Oh, no, hold on. Effects. There we go. I can do Hanukkah. Here we go. Ready?
Wait. Do rain on Hanukkah.
Well, it's not rain. It's lightning. Look behind me.
Okay.
That's.
Oh.
Yep.
Now you're just weirding me out.
You want Hanukkah? Here's Hanukkah.
Well, I want rain on Hanukkah.
There's Hanukkah. I don't know why it's Hanukkah, but it's Hanukkah.
I don't either.
Yeah. I've got ocean. Oh, I do have raindrops. Ocean's not really doing anything. Let's do raindrops.
Do you know how happy I would be if it just dumped a freaking bucket of water on your head?
Yeah, wouldn't that be? Yeah, that would not be cool, dude.
I'm kind of working out the bugs in this. Here, let me do raindrops.
Here's Aurora Borealis.
I went to high school with her.
I think you told me that before.
I always say that. Come up with an odd name, and that's where it will go.
Here's Flickr. So, folks, for those of you who are only listening, not watching, I have a bank of strip lights that light up the wall behind me, and I change it just depending on my mood. I normally don't do because when I'm on conference calls, the ones that flicker and stuff, it gets really distracting and people don't like it. So, like right now, we are on the cusp of summer turning into fall, hopefully sooner than later because it's still freaking hot. It's 90 degrees here today. So I had blue behind me for the summer, or green. I don't even remember. I think I had green, but I changed it to orange. So what is? Oh,
sorry. I was just snoring. I had snoring sounds.
You had snoring. That was great. That was fantastic. I thought
it was good. I've had years of practice.
Yeah, I can tell. So anyway, I usually, let's see, I'm trying right now. I've got orange behind me.
You mentioned those who are just listening only. They are going to be doing the hanging themselves.
Yeah, most likely. Can you blame them though?
No, but they have to be used to it by now. Though.
Absolutely.
Probably very powerful and strong. Okay, so these are strip lights. They come actually from a strip club, or did you get them?
No, I ordered them on Amazon. You can get everything on Amazon.
Not. Can you get strippers on Amazon?
Have you tried? I haven't tried.
I don't know.
But I bet you could.
Ask and see if they bring hey, could you bring some lights when you come over too? Stripper lights?
Stripper lights. Exactly.
Yeah. I don't think that's what they're called.
Lights, poles, whatever.
Oh my gosh. Okay, stop playing with your lights.
I'm trying to get it back to my orange color.
It is orange now. This is like pumpkin spice.
It is. Oh, pumpkin spice is back at Starbucks. So excited.
She was one of the original Spice Girls. Did you know that?
Pumpkin spice.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then once it was winter, they discontinued it or waited.
Sure they did.
Yeah.
I do love pumpkin spice candles. I don't think I've had one of the Starbucks ones because, I have a thing at Starbucks, and it is that I do not like to order foo-foo drinks there.
Okay.
that take extra time where they have to write your name on the cup?
So here's how we do it now.
Yep.
Because you bring that up.
You do the
we do the
app.
in the app. Yeah. And we're literally 7 minutes from our Starbucks.
Okay.
And that's if we have bad traffic. So we will put our order in, we'll get in the Jeep, hit send. And then by the time, and then we don't even go in, we go through the drive-through because that's how they do the pickup now. They don't even have it.
Isn't there a long line at the drive-through like there always
Depends
is?
on when you go. It depends on when you go. So you have
what
to
if there are 10 people in line? I mean, that's just kind of a round number.
Well, for example, Peyton, if she does everything she needs to do during the week, on Friday before she goes to school, she gets to go to Starbucks. So that's what we do. We pre-order, and so we leave the house by 7.
Okay,
we get there by 7:07, and then we had one person in front of us.
Oh, wow!
So it wasn't bad.
See, that's not the norm for what I see. I mean, every time.
So another example is we didn't do that last Friday, not because Peyton didn't earn it, but she had Friday off. And I took Friday off. So on Saturday morning, Peyton and I went to, before she went horseback riding, she had to be there at 9:45. So it was about 9:15, 9:30-ish that we got there. Same thing. We ordered ahead. The line was around the entire building. And there were like 15 people in front of us. And still we got to the farm, which wasn't very far away. Right on time, but it took probably 15 minutes for us to get our stuff.
Can you go? And so this is me being old, but every time I get in there, I go, why the heck didn't I order online? But I don't do it a lot though, because as long as I can get up to the counter in relatively reasonable time, or the drive-through, which doesn't happen often, I just get a black coffee with a little room. That's it, just so it's spilling all over. That's it. Yeah. And so it's not like it's something that's the other reason. I don't want it to be handed off to somebody else. I'm good with their black coffee. Yeah. I used to do the 2 creams and a couple of equals and, whatever. And, but not anymore. I have graduated to the Starbucks black coffee.
I would say good 90% of the time when I order coffee from anywhere, it's usually black coffee. It's not a foo-foo. I don't do a lot of lattes or anything like that,
but I would love a pumpkin spice because they're delicious.
Exactly. Except for pumpkin spice time. There are 2 drinks that I will go fancy on: pumpkin spice. And even that, it's pumpkin spice with coconut milk. I don't do regular milk in there.
Right.
And it adds a little bit of sweetness. So if you ever want to try that, use coconut.
Okay.
So pumpkin spice latte. And then, so the other thing they added this year, so maybe there's 3 now. They actually have a pumpkin spice cream cold brew. Okay. So because it's been so hot lately, I haven't done hot drinks. So the cold brew is really, really good. Then the other one is a chocolate cream cold brew.
Jeez.
And it's a foam on the top that they put, and it's a milk foam, but it's chocolate flavored. And
I'm getting fatter just listening to you talk about it.
It's worth it. It's absolutely worth it. I don't have breakfast or lunch, and that fills the gap with the calories. But the coconut milk does bring the calorie count down a little bit on the pumpkin spice. Okay. So that's my other thing. Otherwise, I'm the same as you. I just get black coffee.
Yeah, because whatever. It's not that big a deal. I like it. We have been. I told you we've been very fortunate to. I looked at the grocery store this afternoon. I looked at the Dunkin' Donuts, not a sponsor. They're not going to want to be a sponsor after I say this. They had the big. I can't even tell you the size, 32 ounces or something, for $24.
Yeah. And
same size of McDonald's coffee for $14.95 probably. And to me, it's comparable, if not as good or better. And we've been on the McDonald's train for coffee for some time now here at the house.
I lose a lot of respect for you when you talk about
I don't care. You go ahead and pay that. You wouldn't do Dunkin' Donuts either. So you would do something crazy. Like
I probably would. So
yeah.
I think we have talked about this one before. So my quote unquote, I've got quotes in the air for people that aren't watching, quote unquote,
that are sleeping because we've been boring.
Right. My crappy coffee. That's what I call it. The cheap stuff.
Right. The cheap stuff
is chock full of nuts. I love chock full of nuts.
I won't go that low because that stuff's terrible.
It is not terrible.
It's okay, but they have the same size, and it's $5 less than McDonald's.
Yeah,
and that's because it's terrible.
No, it's not terrible. It's kind of like
used to be called chock full of shit. I don't know if you knew that. They changed the names. It wasn't selling that well. So if you like it, that's fine. Yeah. That's fine.
Well, so we don't go that low, but we do a Starbucks knockoff. So,
okay.
And anyone from this part of the country or our home part of the country that's listening, I know it's not really a knockoff because that's what we used to drink instead of Starbucks all the time anyways. And we're talking about a big chain, but when we go to the store because it's cheaper, and actually we are on an Amazon, list where they send us a big case every month, so we don't even get it at the store anymore. Caribou.
Oh, I like Caribou.
I like Caribou too.
Yeah, we have not had them. This was, when Michael was growing up, we had a Caribou near us, and I think there was a drive-through, if I'm not mistaken. But Lisa and Michael would go through it quite often, and so that was kind of a treat. But yeah, they always. I agree with you. I think that is probably one. There are others that are, I don't know if I want to say comparable. Starbucks kind of stands on its own just because they have chosen to go with that kind of burnt flavor. Yeah. And it certainly, they stand out, and the experience they sold very well. And so, I think they're kind of on their own island, for better or worse. So I find people either like it or hate it or tolerate it or don't, but it's not really a lot in between.
I think two things. One, I like the fact that you said the burnt flavor, because a lot of people say they're burnt, and Starbucks does not burn their. No. It is the flavor profile, and that's something that something
you
a lot of people
replicate burnt coffee. You can replicate the flavor though.
Right. And that's to each their own. Sure. I do think that a lot of what happens with Starbucks, the people that love it or hate it, a lot of the hate comes from the fact of who they are. I agree.
And that includes everything from the culture, the long lines,
exactly,
the price.
Yes,
that certainly has something to do with it. But I think you're absolutely right.
I mean, personally, I would rather go to a mom and pop, not a chain. And if I have the opportunity to go to one that's not a chain, I am all over that. Unfortunately, near my house, we don't have one. Anyway, I mean, I would have to travel a good distance to get to a coffee shop that's a mom and pop. So Starbucks as it is. And I have no problem with Starbucks. Jen used to work at Starbucks, and she has a lot of loyalty to Starbucks because of that. Cool. She had a fantastic experience. The training was fantastic. The culture was fantastic. If the hours didn't suck so much, she probably would still do it. She made it all the way up to shift manager, and she didn't even work there that long. So she really, really did enjoy it. And that's one of the reasons it still has a pretty big place in our heart, which to her credit is I'm surprised she lets me get the Caribou. Caribou is not down here in Nashville. Caribou coffee, the actual shops, shops. They're in. I do think they're west, but they're also in the upper Midwest.
Okay. The only time I see them now is in airports. I mean,
Denver has one. I noticed Denver's. But I think they're all over.
I'm not
Minnesota.
sure about Atlanta, but certainly
there could be one.
Certainly Detroit. I'm pretty sure. Not certainly. I have no idea. But anyway, I've seen them in airports.
There's one coffee shop though that when I do go, I don't get black coffee. I think I may have once, and it wasn't even black coffee. It was an Americano because it was the closest thing. Because they don't. I'm sure they have it, but they don't advertise it on their menu. And that's Dutch Brothers. Have you ever gone to Dutch Brothers?
It sounds familiar, but I don't think I have. Not to my knowledge.
I don't know where it started, but it's big in Colorado.
Holland, maybe?
Originally, I'm sure. Absolutely. No. They're Polish. Their last name is Dutch.
I see. Two things I can't stand: Polish people and people who have no patience with other culture.
Right? Exactly.
I
love that. No, that's a great joke.
My Polish people.
You should. You're podcasting with one of them.
I know. Yes. You are well loved.
Anyway, they are really, really good, but a lot of theirs is really heavy flavored coffee. But again, the reason I bring them up, and then we'll move on to a different topic, is exactly what you pointed out with Starbucks, which was part of the number 2, is the culture. There's an interesting culture. That's why I like Dutch Brothers, is because they make the culture, the experience. That's what I was going for, not the culture. The experience so good that I actually enjoy going. Mm-hmm. And
I will do one final ad for Starbucks, even though they're not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor yet.
I can't wait until we unpack to get into the house, because I have my bell, and we'll be able to ding for sponsorships. Mm-hmm. I'm sure that's probably the only thing holding back all these big corporations from sponsoring.
Absolutely, yeah. They got excited about it when you first introduced it, and
they've been waiting ever since. Is there instant coffee? We have a tin of it. Whatever it's called. I had never had it before. My daughter-in-law actually mentioned it and said they love it, and so Lisa bought some at the store. Oh my gosh, it's amazing! And not only is it really good, it lasts. We've had it for 2 or 3 months, and I can slap a teaspoon into a nice tall hot water, coffee mug, and it's delicious.
See, I disagree. I've never been a fan of the Vias.
Gosh,
they're fantastic.
Way better than. What other instant coffee have you had?
That's the problem. I don't drink instant coffee.
Yeah, you're comparing it with the wrong thing. When you compare it with like a Nescafe or something like that, not a sponsor, then it's going to be, it is so close to regular coffee. It really is. It's very impressive.
I'll take your word. No, we do have, I don't know if we have any more, but we sometimes take it camping. Because it's much easier than
big time.
Because when I make coffee, it's a production, and
what?
Yeah, I know you wouldn't expect that from me.
Yeah, Nick French press Cubic.
I don't know. I bring the French press once in a while. I have been known to, but that's not how I make it. I have a pour over for single servings, and I also have I have an espresso. I have the Italian espresso, and I have an air press. Aero press.
I know those. I used to have one, and a buddy of mine who is a coffee roaster himself said that is the best. And whether I don't necessarily agree with that,
I don't either.
But it's darn good. Yeah. And it's plastic. And
that's the part I struggle with that, and I struggle with you make it, and you're supposed to make it like an espresso, and then make it like an Americano if you want a full cup of coffee.
Right.
I can't make it strong enough to be like an espresso.
Oh,
so when you make it an Americano, you're just like, it's just like water.
Well, I haven't used it for a long. In fact, I think I gave it to a friend.
Really? I might end up doing that too. I'm not a big fan.
Yeah. I've been honestly, we've just been doing our drip coffee maker. We have a very nice one, but it's packed. We've got I think I spent $17 on the Black & Decker, and it works fine. It's great. Every morning, good coffee. It's fine.
I've been doing the good old Keurig lately. I haven't even made my own pour over coffee or anything. Next thing I want to get though, I got to do this at my dad's, and actually where else? There was another place that someone, it was at my in-laws. My mother-in-law Mona has a percolator, and my dad had a percolator. So I got to experience some percolated coffee, which I loved. When I was growing up, I loved percolators. I just had a fascination with them, but I never owned one. Mm-hmm. So that's my next thing. The next purchase, I think, is going to be a percolator, which I'll probably take camping.
Fabulous. Yeah. That will be great for camping for sure. Okay, let's move along. One thing I wanted to say about when we're for the awkward pause since we spoke for 20 minutes before we went live today is, have you ever seen Craig Ferguson, the videos of his show from the Late Late Show? It's 10 years ago now or something like that. But he used to offer his guests before they left some choices. Either it was harmonica, they could play the harmonica. I think he called it a mouth organ because his guests were usually attractive women. Or he offered something else, and then awkward pause. And the actors were fabulous with awkward pauses. So it's just him and the guest just doing an awkward pause. It's a and listeners, it's just a pause. But he would do fun. I mean, they just look into the distance, and some would. And the whole thing was just hilarious. And
I'll look some of those up. I have seen some of the skits, but I've never seen those. Sorry, I hit the microphone.
He's kind of a nut, not kind of. He is a nut.
Yeah, he's hilarious.
But a talented guy and quick on his feet. So anyway, we've spoken about him before. Yep. Something sad. As much as we hate to bring up sadness on the podcast, the Queen of England, Queen Elizabeth, has passed away.
She has.
She was the queen for 70 years.
70. And I hate to say it this way, but she was the world's queen. It wasn't just the queen of the United Kingdom.
Why do you hate to say it that way?
Because there are going to be some people that go, oh, we don't have a queen. I mean, we're America. And she was the world's queen. It had nothing to do with ruling anybody. Yeah. But she meant so much to so many people.
She really, and it's good because there have been some really good movies and even series that have come out that have really a new generation, I think, has become aware of what the royal family really was like. Yeah. And especially historically, you look back on some of the her father and even looking toward I think about we just spoke about it a couple of weeks ago, the King's Speech, and how, you have Edward, who was scandal ridden. And then you have all of these fabulous historical figures, and they're just sort of left by the wayside. Well, she was in almost all of those. Yeah. And even like Downton Abbey, they had a segment with Queen Elizabeth and how she was just portrayed so beautifully. And I think only second to the actual woman. She was amazing and did so much in the way of caring for others and her charity work. And she was just really an amazing woman. And I don't say that lightly. That is, I think your definition is exactly right. She was the world's queen, not just so England, Great Britain is probably not going to want to share, but I hope they do, because she was an amazing woman.
I think they recognize that. I really do. Everything that we've, and by the time this podcast comes out, it'll have been almost a week since everything. So I'm sure there's going to be a lot more that's going to be said
for sure
and shown to celebrate her life.
It's just it's an interesting, interaction with people, it seems like, because some are just dying to talk about the royals. Yeah. And some, people knew she was 96. It's not like they didn't know she was going to pass. So some, and you'll see it, some have been planning for this forever. This forever. Where they're, okay, so when she dies, we're going to,
Oh, yeah, they've got it planned to it. She was planning it. She was planning everything.
Well, I think that's the nature of the crown. I mean, that's how they do it. And so, King Edward III, right? I think is his title.
Yeah,
I
believe so.
Not Edward. I'm sorry.
Charles. Are you talking about Charles? Yeah, King Charles.
Why was I saying Edward? Yeah,
because that's
Charles
her dad,
III,
right?
Yes,
Edward
Charles III.
Yeah.
No, Edward wasn't her dad. Her dad,
her
was,
uncle.
It was her uncle. That's
her uncle, the one who abdicated.
Was her dad, right?
Yeah. So, King Charles III, which I've been.
Why did I
I don't know.
Edward.
I don't know.
Nah,
it's a good name. It's good. He could have been King Edward. He could have been, because isn't that one of his names?
He was for 4 minutes.
No. I meant Charles could have been, because he can choose. He's got like 4 names, and he could have chosen one of those 4 names. And I want to say one of those names is Edward.
Oh, okay. I did not realize that. I don't know how that all washes out with the. And look, I'm not pretending to know much about it other than what I've seen in The Crown, and which is not much, because I always got pissed on The Crown because they would change actors midstream.
I know that. I can understand why they did it while we were watching.
Sure, of course,
and I thought that was fascinating.
Make them older.
Yeah, because I was enjoying. I have enjoyed every single one of them.
Yeah.
But
Lisa too was just really into it. But as soon as they changed, and this is when, the actress who was playing the Queen was, I don't know, let's say 35 or 40 or, something like that. And then, she goes to 50 and they have to change actors. Come on. No, they don't. You could, come on, find some makeup people or something.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yep. I feel the same way. So, but it was very, very sad. When I heard the news, but to your point, I think I saw some interviews with Britons and Londoners who were outside of Buckingham Palace, and a lot of them were saying, "Hey, we knew this was coming."
Yeah, well, of course,
but it was still a surprise.
The question always becomes: is it better to go quickly, or is it better to go with old age or a long illness, for that matter? Not that we have that choice.
Well, if I had a choice, I'd want it to happen quickly, but I'd want it to happen at a very old age.
Well, and it's interesting because my mother's third husband, Jim, was 93 when he passed, and it was almost like that. He had some an aneurysm of some sort or whatever, and they were just sitting around. He was in his favorite chair, and he said something to Mom like, "Did you spray something in here?" Some olfactory apparently is an event that is common in that case, and he was gone a day later. And it was, as far as he knew, it was over that fast. Yeah, and and that's the way he would have wanted to go, of course. And he's 93, as you said. If it's old age, it's fine, typically. But nonetheless, it's which is better for the family, because that's really all you. The rest doesn't really matter. I mean, you'll instantly stop caring as soon as you're dead. Right.
Well, and my stepfather always said his ideal death would be going nose down in his airplane. Yeah.
But not tomorrow.
Exactly. Wait until I'm really old.
Yes, old and ready.
Yep.
Well, you're 97. It's time for another takeoff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, he, as far as that, I mean, how old is your dad?
My dad is 70.
My age. Yeah.
74.
Okay, so a little older than me. He very well could have been flying the plane when we landed in, was it the Atlanta flight?
No, he actually couldn't. No, my stepdad, when he died,
I'm just kidding.
How old was my I think my stepdad was 84 when he died, 83. I'd have to look it up. He was in his 80s when he died.
My point was, when we landed at Fort Myers yesterday, we hit hard on
Did
the tarmac. Oh, and look, I've landed thousands of times in jets, commercial jets. And look, it happens. Anything happens. I'm watching a movie and here we go. And the window shade is pulled, so I have no idea we're getting close. You can sort of tell, with, especially if they're using the automated instrument landing system, which is, you can tell because it'll accelerate and decel and so on. But this, we really couldn't tell. And all of a sudden, boo! Holy crap! I think my back's okay, but so it was pretty hard.
You're right. I mean, that does happen, and I've been in my fair share. But it's I almost would rather have that than I had a landing the other day where you could tell it was a crosswind, and a crosswind in a large airplane is not fun.
I kind of enjoy it, but okay.
Really? So in a regular crosswind, so people that
Sure.
are watching can see me do this. In a regular crosswind, you're coming in for a landing and you're crabbing. So you're pointed into the wind and you're coming down. And just about when you land, you turn into the wind.
Correct.
You
turn away from the wind. Your nose into the wind already. You turn to the runway.
Right. You turn to the runway, but you dip your wing into the wind.
Yes, correct.
And then you get into that air pocket and then you just kind of,
if you want to know more about what he's describing, go to YouTube and search crazy windy landings or something like that. Because I'm wondering in most of them, why did you not change runways?
Right.
Because you've got, most runways, if you can see it, are like this.
They're crossed.
They're not perpendicular.
Right.
But they are, probably a 60 degree. I don't know.
Sometimes it depends on where you are. That. Yeah.
But it's interesting when you wait a second. You're coming into the wind from the other direction.
Yeah.
And
in a commercial plane, so that's a general aviation. That's a small plane. But in a jet, in an airliner, they come in, they crab.
Yep.
And then they hit the back wheels and
then they spin.
The tail spins you out. So you get jerked like you wouldn't believe to get that.
Believe.
But usually what that causes is a bounce.
Yeah.
I hate bounce. I hate when you're in a big airplane and they bounce.
Well, it's coming if it's going to be windier. They will also often bounce if it's inclement weather.
Yep.
So if it's raining or snow, oftentimes you'll get pilots who want to bounce because it slows a little more efficiently than if you try to glide in.
But I'd still rather hit and know I'm down in those situations. Than
I don't disagree with that. I think that, and I try to make it a point if the pilots are waiting outside the cockpit when you come by, I always tell them, hey, nice flight. And cause shiny side up, it's a nice flight. But it's
any landing you walk away from is a good landing.
It's a good landing. I remember one time when it was a rough one and, I walked by and they were oddly enough, in the cockpit and had the door open. And, I said, so who did that landing? And the captain looked at me and said, he did. He's a Navy guy. It was awesome. And the first officer looked and just smiled and shook his head. It was awesome.
That's great. That's really funny.
And that happens sometimes back in the old days. We've discussed this about when they used to play the tower on all the earphones in the cabin. And oh my gosh, it was so much fun because you're listening to the whole thing and then bang. And sometimes you'd hear comments like, and we're here, hard, Roger.
I really like it when you have pilots with good senses of humor.
Oh my goodness.
Hilarious. We had an Australian on my flight this past week. I was coming back from El Paso. I was coming back from El Paso. I'm trying to think if he was the El Paso to Denver or the Denver to Nashville. I think he was the El Paso, and he was funny. He was part of it's the accent too. You got an Australian who's cracking jokes, but always makes for an entertaining ride.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. That is very cool. Well, anyway, we somehow, and this is not unusual for us, we got on planes from the Queen. So
hey, we hit one thing we planned. The Queen. We planned three different things we were going to talk about, and we hit the Queen.
She was, I think that was the most important. Yeah. She was a wonderful lady, and we certainly don't want to, by going right to planes, diminish that.
She liked airplanes too.
She did. In fact, I think she liked a coach middle seats, I think is what I think heard. She flew commercial a lot.
Yeah. Always in the exit row. Always wanted to make sure that she could help people get them out. I mean, that's the kind of service.
Oh my gosh,
that she demanded.
Lisa and I did exit rows on our flights back home this last week, and because I know how to pick seats, and I've got barely enough status to be able to do that. You can still grab exit rows. which I love. I love exit rows. It's great. They ask, you want to be upgraded to the Comfort Plus for Delta, which is their, a little more legroom. And I say, no, don't even think about it, because they've put me in bad seats, whether it's not much room, no shoulder room on the window, or a middle seat. So yeah, I just want exit. Well, it was the one in, gosh, what were we in? The 757, I think. And it's the exit row seat with no seat in front of you, right by the exit door.
Nice.
And so, you have leg room for days.
Yeah.
The only problem is kicking your backpack underneath the seat in front of you. And then you can't get at it unless you unbuckle and go up there and grab it. But
that's funny.
Pretty funny. I haven't been in that seat very often because I don't like window seats usually, but it's what was available. So
speaking of status, I finally got up to that next level of status, and I was really excited that my flight, this past flight from Denver to Nashville, I was so excited because I finally, one of my biggest pet peeves is the fact that I get on the upgrade list all the time, but there's always like 4 seats and I'm number 5, right? First time, and I've been watching it. I'm looking at it every day since I booked. I'm number 1. I'm number 1 for an upgrade. I'm ready. I'm like, yes, I'm getting the upgrade, because there was only 1 seat left when I booked the flight. I'm getting that upgrade. I'm getting that upgrade. I'm getting that upgrade. And then it fills up. I haven't been on a flight. I think out of the 90 flights that I've taken this year, I have never once been on a flight where the first class has been booked 100%. So someone always got upgraded. Not on this flight. It was booked 100% beforehand. Wow. Yeah. And everyone showed. Like, what the hell? I finally get there and I don't get my upgrade.
I know. And, people who have not been down the status, on Status Island, they don't get it. And just so you don't think that we're being pretentious when it comes to that stuff, we're not. Well, no. We are a little bit. But you fly enough and you feel that you've kind of earned some of that. Anybody that has put up with the crap that happens when you fly, it's just one of the little perks that really does make a difference and make you feel a little bit appreciated. I'll tell you what, and I've mentioned this to you before, we decided to check our bags at the end of a vacation. I don't know how it always happens this way, but you always end up with more stuff than you took with you.
Absolutely. Yep.
And so it's heavier bags. And Lisa goes, why don't we just check? Heck yeah, good idea. So we went to the main counter and it was easy. Bag drop. It's the quick login on the, boy, I have no words today for some. This is, by the way, a side effect of some of my meds, saying that you have brain fog and it gets so searching for words lately. Wow, it's been stupid. Anyway, one of the kiosks, and it comes to me later, but maybe tomorrow I'll know all the words.
Hey, we can record tomorrow too.
No, I mean, we'll have to record. Remember yesterday when I said, here's the word I wanted? Yeah, it wouldn't be too boring at all. So we check in on the kiosk and then they do the bag drop. And it was easy. And this lady who handled the bag drop, very nice. And she said, thank you for your gold medallion status. And you're a million miler. Thank you very much. That's it. That's all I want. I don't need
100%.
You just don't need all the accolades and, well, I'm sorry we can't do this for you, but just thank you. And that is the thing that doesn't seem to happen often enough. And so it's just a little appreciation for all the miles you've flown. And I was, even though I'm only gold now on Delta, I was diamond, their top level, for 4 years in a row or something like that when we were flying so much. So it's nice to, I remember when you were special and valuable. I'll take what I can get. But we are pretentious. I mean, we are pretentious. Even though I said, no, it's not like we are, but we are.
No, we are. But you're absolutely right. We're pretentious because we deserve it. Damn it. No.
Okay. Well, as long as we have a good reason like that.
Yeah. You work hard but you're absolutely right there. If you work hard and you travel a lot and you're out of your home, you're out of your element, those little perks do add up and they do help.
They just make it better. You're right.
It makes it better. And here's the other thing. It curbs the frustration you have from people that don't travel very often that are,
oh my goodness.
It gets so annoying when you are security lines, for example, trying to get through the security line and you're in TSA PreCheck and someone gets upgraded to TSA PreCheck, but doesn't know how it works.
Yeah.
I empathize. I was there.
Yep.
But I'm in a hurry.
Yeah. Well, and it's kind of yes, you want to be kind to people and you want to give them the benefit of the doubt. And look, we were all there once. You're right. If you don't fly much, you can't be expected to know. But for people who travel a lot, it becomes like this. Here's the analogy. In Illinois, they used to have tolls, and in the tolls, the booths used to throw change in. Yeah. Before, it was all electronic and everything. And so 40 cents you'd throw in. You never would pull up behind somebody on a motorcycle because they're going to be digging for coins.
Yeah.
And it's going to slow me down by at least 4 or 5 seconds, and you can't afford that. It's kind of the same thing when you're going in line. Don't follow a family with kids. Love kids. Yep. Love those people that I'm sure they're nice folks. Don't follow them. Yep. Go to the other line if you can. If it's grandma and grandpa, which I am, by the way, don't follow me because I'm going to have an implant or something that can't get, which is not true. But that's the thing. Just a matter of time. Yes, I have a brain implant and a bionic hand, so I can.
I thought you were going somewhere else with that.
Change tires. I can change tires like
nice,
Steve Austin.
Nice. Yeah.
Anyway, but so we learn where not to go and what not to jump in front of.
Yep.
Or behind those people. But they are nice people. Oh, here's the thing that's bugging me lately, though, is when we land. If you stay in your seat, people are starting to creep up the aisle now.
Oh yeah, I was literally in my brain. That's incredible that you say that because that happened on my last 2 flights, and I'm like, okay, here's one caveat to that: if you have a tight connection, you're okay. But because on the flight, the flight attendants will say, if you don't mind, if you do not have a tight connection, please stay in your seats and allow those people that do have tight connections.
Here's why I call BS on that. Because you still got to wait for the door to open.
100%.
I've never once seen it where tight connections, because you know what? Everybody has a tight connection.
Nowadays, that's very true.
Well, and I don't mean that they really do. I mean, they do in their minds. And
right.
We only have 45 minutes. I have to pee and we have to get something to eat. We have a tight connection.
Yeah.
Or I only have an hour and 20 and I know what you're saying.
I'm going to be fair to people.
But I don't. How much time are you really saving?
Not much.
None.
Not much. No.
Really.
But it does make you feel better.
Well, and so there were two, not that it matters, they were German. Mm-hmm. And so maybe it's a culture they don't know, and this is how, okay, I'm cutting them some slack, that's fine. They inched their way up and moved up maybe 6 seats, and when that never happened to me? When I stood up the minute the plane, or we got to the gate, seatbelt sign goes off, stand up, I start grabbing my bag down. Never does anybody cut in front of me then.
Right.
And they don't even think about it.
Yep.
And now it's like just inching up. What are you doing? So it's going to save you a minute or 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And to these people's detriment, it just pisses me off. You probably couldn't tell.
Well, it really annoys. What really gets me is when they inch up, but then they stop in front of me, so I can't get up and get my bag. I still want to be efficient. So you had mentioned on a previous episode that also annoys you when people stand up right away to get their stuff.
Yeah,
I am sort of one of those people.
Me too.
I always watch. I'll look to see if the person next to me needs to get up quickly, and I'm okay with that because what I usually do is I get up, get my stuff, and that stuff goes in my seat, and I get out of the way so other people can get out and get their stuff too. Because I'd rather be efficient by when it's my turn to leave. I get my bag and I walk out.
Understood. And we're all mindful of that. I think that those of us who travel a lot, and typically that's what I did. I would not grab my bag, but up on the overhead, but I would have it ready.
Yep.
And I would stand in the aisle just behind my row.
Yes.
And so anybody left or right gets out first.
Yep.
And I'll offer it to them. If they say, no, I got to go. Thank you very much. Boom, I'm out. Then I grab 100%. My bag and I go. Yeah.
Yep.
And I don't bring my big bag down very often because it's just extra stuff that doesn't need to be down until you're ready to go.
Right.
My opinion.
Right. Well, again, I have a backpack. That's all I carry.
I do too. Oh yeah, this is you. Yeah, that's you don't have the big bag, but so the backpack you throw in your seat and you're good to go. The only difference is I just drag that out of the overhead.
If I can put it in the overhead, I do, because it is a little bit bigger than a regular backpack, but it does go down. It does compact enough that I can put it under my seat if I need to.
I like having it near me in case I want to dig for something. Oh, gee, I just thought I have to have, my laptop versus my tablet or something. Anyway. Yeah. It's just, but it's a shame to have to do that to get people that are creepy. And we were on vacation once. I know I told you this, but on vacation once, and it was like a family. Was just trying to move up to the front, and I'm like, you can't get out that door.
Right.
The door is closed.
And that's the one too that gets me is if you look at anyone on the plane, you can tell who's a business person and who's not.
True.
Or a frequent traveler. Let's just put it that way, because frequent travelers are doing what we're doing. Typically. It's the people that don't travel very often that are trying to
and again, you cut them some slack unless it negatively impacts you. And on some level, that does, as you said.
Now, if I have a tight connection, I need to get out as quick as I can. But that's the other thing. Where I have a lot more empathy are for those people that do have tight connections that are in the back of the airplane.
Who booked the
I never sit in the back
That's
of the
what
airplane.
I want to know. I want to know this. Who booked the damn flight?
Well, so
you have a tight connection, not my problem.
Well, it's interesting. Yes. So you and I were texting when you were on your last flight.
Yes.
I'm 100%. I think my statement was 100% true, because every single time I have a tight connection, which is like a 30-minute is about the limit that they'll do.
Yeah,
I have had 30-minute connections.
Sure.
But for some reason, let's use Denver as the example.
Mm-hmm.
I'll land and depart at gate C.
Yep.
Or D. Let's say D. Get off in terminal D and have to go to A.
Yeah.
In 30 minutes.
Got it. Who booked the flight?
Well, I did, but to be efficient, because I'm not going to wait, but the other flight is 4 hours later,
Oh, I'm not saying that. I'm saying if you had left at a different time or.
Well, I don't always have that luxury.
I don't either, but sometimes we do.
Sometimes, and if I do, I'm not gonna have.
I do not like 30 minutes exactly, and that's really the bigger point, is that you try to avoid it at all costs. But I don't expect the other passengers to say, "Well, let me, by all means, make it easier for you."
Yeah, I'm not going to be a creeper. I'm not going to creep up, but. Yeah, I understand. Again, the people in the back of the airplane. Let's get them off as quick if they truly do, and I'll give people the benefit of the doubt. Now, here's the thing about that layover. My other part of that statement was, if I have a 4-hour layover, what really annoys me is the gate's right next to the other one. So I'll get off. I'll be at gate D something, and my other gate will be D something else.
Yes. Or you're on the same plane. I've had that too.
Exactly. I'm like, what the hell? Why can't this be my 30-minute layover?
It's called travel karma. I don't really believe in karma, but it's still pretty funny to frame it.
The part that really annoys me is how do they not know? They know. The people that plan these flights know. So why are they doing that? Why are they putting them so far away?
Well, they know it only affects you. Well, here he is at the new level now. Let's put him over in D.
It doesn't. I have been on flights where there are at least 10 people on the flight that are on the same flight as me going to Nashville.
Sure.
Whether it's Houston or Denver. So if you know you have 10 people and you've got a tight turnaround and or the flight's late.
Yep.
Why are you putting them on
I see that. And that is something that I think most airlines are starting to get a little better at. I don't think they have it perfected. It's sort of like how they're using technology with checked luggage now.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yes, it is.
Really. And I've had flight attendants say, you don't lose bags anymore. They just don't get lost and I'm getting text messages when your bag is on your flight right now going to, and got them yesterday because we checked, and, it's pretty impressive. And it's really not nearly as much of a crapshoot as it used to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
no,
anyway.
they are every aspect is getting better. Now we just have
agree.
We just have to tell United, not a sponsor. We just have to tell United to equal Delta's, not a sponsor.
Neither one is.
Club. I still maintain that everything about my flight experience on United is so much better than any other airline.
Okay.
But
not the clubs.
The clubs. Every time I go in there, it's the same food. Exactly the same food.
Yeah. Well, and Delta used to be like that, to be fair. And they started mixing things up a little bit. I haven't been in their clubs for a while now because I don't fly enough to do it.
Their clubs are so much nicer too.
They are pretty nice, and they've made a big investment. But some of them, there are some that are packed and crazy.
Yeah.
And oh my gosh, you just don't ever want to go in there. But most of them, for the most part, they're pretty good.
Yeah. The Denver United clubs right now are packed, but that's because they have one of their big ones closed. So last one I was in there, I couldn't find a seat. I was walking around going, the airport was dead. I'm like, okay, I guess everybody at this airport is a United member, United club member.
Well, yeah, none of them sitting up. In many cases, I'd rather sit in the gate area anyway.
Oh, really? Yeah.
If there are seats available, who cares?
Yeah, there weren't at this one either. But it was fun at the gate area. Someone was playing. They had a band. Go figure.
Fun.
Band going
That's
from
awesome.
From Denver to Nashville, but it was a little bluegrass band, and they were sitting there playing.
That is sweet.
It was pretty cool.
How fun would that be?
It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
Cool. I posted a thing on Instagram years ago. Can't tell you the airport. Probably doesn't matter. A guy playing violin in the airport, and I recorded a little bit. Oh my gosh, he was so good, and everybody's just awesome.
It changes the whole environment, the whole vibe,
For sure.
It really made a lot of people happy.
Yeah,
there was not an unhappy person on that flight. And
very cool.
Of course, part of that is because we weren't delayed.
Wow. Yeah, you left that part out.
Yeah. We are actually on time for once. But
awesome. Because if you were delayed, you'd want the blues.
Right, exactly. Right. Exactly. Yep.
On that note,
I just did.
I know, it was great.
Peace and pancakes, people. Boom. Oh no.
What is that?
I don't know. Peace and pancakes is a very old thing that I've been saying for I don't even know how long, but it's peace and pancakes. But
I think it's outlived its welcome.
Probably not.
I'd like a piece of pancake, please. That sounds
not a piece of pancake. Peace and pancakes.
And pancakes, I know.
That's right. I should say peace and PSLs.
And
pumpkin spice lattes.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. PSL.
Cut that out. You're going to have to go to Starbucks as soon as we're done.
Probably.
Yeah.
I'm going to head right there now.
No, you're not, because you can't do that.
I can if I want.
Well, no, because you won't sleep tonight.
Who needs sleep? Whoever really sleeps anymore.
I'll sleep when I'm dead.
Exactly. If I drink too many PSLs, that'll be sooner than later.
Yes,
while I'm at Starbucks, though, folks, why don't you head up to PoddiMouths.com, check out all of our past episodes, and sign up for the little newsletter thing. It's not really a newsletter. I just basically tell you when the episode's coming out and give you a link to the video and to all the other places that you can listen to the episode.
Wouldn't it be cool if we had future episodes up there?
That would be cool. We could technically do that. So.
Hey. Yeah, that would mean we'd have to do work in advance. We don't do that.
No, I'm literally like the last episode, which was a classic episode.
Yeah,
I was literally putting up at 11 o'clock at night, Monday night, so it could go up for Tuesday morning.
Okay, so if this were our job,
Yeah. We'd be much better at it. We'd have those future episodes.
We would, and we would actually be able, we would get a time machine so we could actually see into the future what we were going to do. Yeah. If it were our real job where we're making.
But you can help us make it a real job by going to a lot of different places. You can go to Patreon. You can buy us a cup of coffee. You could just call us up and say, I'm going to sponsor you and pay you both big fat salaries for the next 5 years.
50 grand a month would probably do it.
It's a little low, but I guess.
Well, I mean, once you take,
are we going to split that, or that's 50 grand a piece?
Piece, Nick. Jeez.
Oh, okay, that's a little bit better. Still not quite my day rate, but I could. I could live off of that.
Wow, I could suffer.
I could at least make my mortgage payment on my 4th house.
Well, that sounds really good. Wow, you are. We have other topic things to talk about, don't we? Next time. Yeah.
You're going to have to come back to
hey,
there's
or you
really
can go
exciting
and see what the future episodes.
You could. I bet you on the next episode, we're going to talk about the new Jeeps, aren't we?
We're going to think about, I don't know, it was on the list for this episode.
It was on the list for this.
What makes you think we'll talk about it next time?
I don't know. EVs suck. That's what makes me think about it.
They do not. Sometimes.
They don't. They don't suck. Unless you're considering electricity.
Ooh.
Yeah. Or ponder that.
Caw-caw.